In a quiet nursing home tucked far from the city, the elderly residents aren't what they seem. Behind their frail smiles and shaky hands hides something far darker, a hunger that defies age and mercy. The staff aren't healers, they're keepers of a secret that turns kind hearts into monsters. And when a troubled young man named Max arrives for community service, he stumbles into a nightmare of blood, deceit, and ancient rituals that feed on the living. So sit tight, because what starts as a simple act of redemption soon spirals into one of the most twisted tales of survival you'll ever see. The story begins with a man named Max, who looks back on his childhood spent in a foster home, a place where his caretakers insisted they were his real family. In that home, Max shared a special bond with his foster brother, Luke. Their connection was so strong, it felt thicker than blood. But their happiness didn't last. When Luke left for college, everything fell apart. Just a few days later, devastating news arrived. Luke had taken his own life, unable to bear the struggles he faced. In the present day, Max gets arrested for vandalizing a wall with graffiti. His foster father bails him out but scolds him harshly, saying, "What's wrong with you, Max? You've never been the same since Luke died." Instead of facing jail time, the judge, convinced by his foster father, orders Max to serve community service at a nursing home. Max protests, claiming he can't do it, but his pleas are ignored and he's forced to take the assignment. The center is far from the city, and as Max arrives, he spots an elderly man staring down at him from the 4th floor. Inside, he meets two workers, Les and Juno, who lay down the house rules. The biggest one: never go to the 4th floor. It's for special care patients only and strictly off-limits. Max starts his chores around the facility. At one room, he knocks to collect the trash but gets no response. When he steps inside, he finds two old residents wearing bizarre masks. Later, while cleaning near the pool, he meets a kind woman named Norma. Out of nowhere, another elderly woman in the pool starts bleeding from the head. Max rushes to help as chaos erupts around him, and he quickly realizes his first day is already a nightmare. He wonders how he'll survive in this eerie place. That night, Max can't sleep. He dreams of Luke and wakes up shaken, then hears a chilling scream from upstairs. The next morning, someone pounds on his door. It's an old man claiming another patient's diaper leaked and he's smearing it on the walls. Max runs to help, only to realize it's an elaborate prank. The residents have gathered to welcome him. Among them is Lou, a friendly old man who greets him warmly. Later, Max meets the facility's doctor, Dr. Sabian. The physician stares into his eyes and remarks, "You've got big, beautiful eyes." That night, as Max sleeps, the masked woman from before appears beside him and whispers, "Now I want you." He wakes in panic, realizing it was just a nightmare. Restless, he wanders the halls and hears strange noises coming from above. Suddenly, Norma appears and asks why he's awake. The two begin to talk quietly. During their conversation, Norma drops a small charm. When Max picks it up, he mentions he's seen something like it before. Norma explains it was made by a dear friend of hers who passed away, and she keeps it as a keepsake. Then she shows him a torn painting her son once made. He had ripped it apart during an argument. After losing him, Norma kept the broken piece as a memory of their bond. From then on, Max starts viewing the residents differently. They're not just old patients, they're people with stories, memories, and heartache. But one day, another scream echoes from above, and Max's curiosity finally wins. He sneaks up to the forbidden 4th floor, where he finds rows of patients sitting in wheelchairs. The sight is horrific. Blood drips from their eyes. One of them spots Max and begins to scream before lunging at him. Other staff members rush in and restrain the man. Afterward, Dr. Sabian confronts Max. "You shouldn't have gone there," he says sternly. "That floor is off-limits for a reason." Then his tone softens. "We know why you're here, Max. Take this as a new beginning. Don't slip back into your old ways." A few days later, Norma tells Max she heard about his trip to the 4th floor. She reassures him he's kind, that's why he feels empathy for those patients, but warns that he can't help them, no one can. The next day, Max sees her arguing with Dr. Sabian. When he asks what happened, she avoids answering. Hoping to cheer her up, Max finishes the torn half of her son's painting and gifts it to her. Norma is deeply moved, whispering, "A heart knows a heart." But then she quietly warns him that something dark is happening inside the center, and urges him to leave while he still can. That night, Max lies awake thinking about her warning. The next day, Norma is gone. Juno tells him she's ill and being kept under watch in the infirmary. Later, Max glances toward the 4th floor and again sees the same old man. Suddenly, Norma collapses in front of him and dies. She leaves behind a note saying she's gone to join her son. A funeral is held for her, leaving Lou devastated. He had been close to her. Max asks Lou if he really thinks Norma would take her own life. He also tells him about what she said before she died. But suddenly, Lou begins to act strangely, as if something's controlling him. When he finally calms down, he admits these strange fits happen often. That night, Max dreams again. He sees Norma and the same mysterious old man. When he wakes, he notices a UV light in his room. Switching it on, he finds glowing words scrawled across the wall. Find the marked ones. Using the light, Max checks Lou's room and discovers a strange symbol on the back of his neck. The next day, he calls his foster parents to tell them about Norma's death and his suspicions about the care home. Later, he sneaks into Norma's locked room to investigate, but Les catches him and warns that her belongings are being burned in the basement. Max rushes downstairs and rummages through her things until he finds her trinket and diary. Inside, Norma had written a chilling message, that Max is in danger, that they come at night with needles and dogs to change people. Max hurries to Lou's room but finds him harming himself in despair. Max stops him and yells for help. Lou is taken away for treatment, and Max, desperate for the truth, searches the internet for Dr. Sabian, and what he finds is horrifying. The doctor has been conducting illegal brain experiments on elderly patients. Suddenly, Max's screen floods with strange pop-up messages, all asking, "Have you seen the light?" When he clicks one, it connects him to a private chat, but the audio cuts out, and he can barely hear the mysterious voice speaking to him. The next day, Max orders a set of hidden cameras online and reconnects with the mysterious girl from the private chat. Her voice trembles as she pleads, "Please, you have to help me. Help those old people before they all turn into monsters like the rest." Before she can explain further, the connection suddenly drops. Max installs the cameras throughout the nursing home and begins watching the live feeds closely. Once again, the same deranged old man appears on one of the screens, slowly moving toward a camera. Max still can't make out what he's trying to say. Exhausted, he eventually drifts off to sleep. When he wakes and reviews the footage, he spots Juno leading a group of elderly patients somewhere, followed by Dr. Sabian and a few others entering a restricted room. Alarmed, Max rushes there, only to hear horrifying screams echoing from inside, sounds of agony, as if someone's being tortured. Before he can react, the center's dog spots him. Panicking, Max races back to his room and freezes. A girl is waiting for him. It's the same one from the chat. She reveals that the US government has been conducting top-secret experiments inside this facility. After testing on animals, they've now begun using the elderly, because when an old person dies, no one questions it. The girl confides that her father was once among the patients downstairs but has since been moved to the 4th floor. She urges Max to keep filming everything, explaining that they need solid evidence to expose the truth, and if he succeeds, she might be able to save her father. Suddenly, the deranged old man appears outside the door and attacks her. In the chaos, Max is knocked unconscious. When he opens his eyes, Dr. Sabian looms over him, holding a syringe close to his face, but then Max realizes it's just a nightmare. When he actually wakes, Juno tells him a patient from the 4th floor escaped and attacked him, and that Dr. Sabian needs to examine his injuries. The moment Juno leaves, Max climbs out the window and flees the building. He contacts his foster parents and returns home, where his 2 foster sisters greet him warmly. His foster mother repeats a familiar phrase Norma once said, "A heart knows a heart." Curious, Max asks where she heard it. She replies that a friend used to say it, though she can't remember who. After his parents leave the house, Max questions his sisters about a certain woman he's been seeing. He searches the rooms and finds nothing, until the girls lead him to a hidden chamber. Inside, he discovers a shrine-like room filled with old relics and charms dedicated to the Roman goddess of youth. The room also contains several photo albums featuring the same faces from the elderly home, even his foster parents. In every single album, spanning decades, there's always one person in a white suit sitting in a wheelchair among them. To Max's horror, one of those faces belongs to Luke. That's when he realizes, the old man who kept appearing before him was actually his brother. Max speaks to Luke, who breaks down in tears, confessing that all he wanted was to help his brother escape. When Max asks who the people in the white suits really are, Luke explains that they're the same residents, only unnaturally aged and changed. Before Max can process it, someone strikes him from behind, knocking him out cold. When he regains consciousness, he's wearing a white suit himself, slightly older, surrounded by people applauding him. He's now their guest of honor. That's when the horrifying truth finally surfaces. Everything he experienced was an elaborate setup. Every person he met had been part of a cruel performance, all designed to torment him for their amusement. The talk about secret government tests and mysterious markings was all deception. In reality, Max was their sacrifice. These people worship a goddess named Deep and preserve their youth by draining a special substance, a nectar hidden behind the right eye, which keeps them eternally young. As humans age, the nectar fades, causing decay. But these cult members have survived since 1997 by stealing it from others. And now, Max has become their next source. They extract the nectar from his eyes and send him to the 4th floor. Lou approaches him and assures him they'll take good care of him, revealing that Norma had tried to save him, which is why she was eliminated. He confesses that tormenting Max was nothing more than entertainment for them. Later, Max wakes to find Luke beside him in his wheelchair. Luke breaks off a metal piece, gathers nectar from the others, even from his own eyes, and pours it into Max's mouth, reviving him. When Juno returns, Max is gone. He ambushes her and kills her instantly, then begins a blood-soaked rampage through the facility, mercilessly slaughtering everyone in sight. Lou hides in a closet, but Max hunts him down too. Dr. Sabian fires his gun, but the bullets hit Lou instead. Now completely consumed by fury, Max becomes unstoppable, killing everyone in his path. His foster parents attempt to flee, but the collapsing building buries them alive. In the end, Max frees all the remaining patients from the 4th floor, including his brother, Luke, and takes them far away from the cursed home. And that, my friends, brings this story to a close. Tell me your thoughts down below, and don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.